Hey everyone, I'm Jordan.
Now I'm Jaymee.
Today we're reviewing Sentimental Value.
So Sentimental Value is the newest movie by the Norwegian director Joachim Trier. I wasn't familiar with any of his other works, but I do remember his last movie, The Worst Person in the World, in 2021 getting some buzz. That was just something I never got to, but I remember the cover and I was like, I'll probably get to it at some point, but maybe now I will after this. This movie has been getting a lot of Oscar buzz. It's nominated for Best Picture, and the four main characters of it all have acting nominations.
Yeah.
So lead Renate Reinsve, supporting actor for Stellan Skarsgård, and two supporting actresses for Elle Fanning and Inga Ibsdottir Lilius. And so this movie is pretty quaint. It follows two sisters, Nora and Agnes, and their estranged father, who is a director who ends up writing a movie that he wants the older daughter, who's an actress, Nora, to participate in, but because of their estranged relationship, with their mother dying and not really being present in her life, there's tension and doesn't really want to do it. And so Elle Fanning is an American actress who comes in and kind of struggles with it. And that's really the main premise of the movie. Jordan, what do you think of this?
The biggest thing about this movie for me, like the part that I feel the most emotionally connected to, is the recognition that Stellan Skarsgård is finally getting for it. Because for years he's been one of my favorite character actors who like perfectly disappears into the background of so many movies. I mean, he is one of the best parts of like huge franchise films like Pirates of the Caribbean and The Avengers, and he's always been good at like playing small parts in those movies and just being nice and memorable. And I always love seeing his face in movies, and the fact that he's getting like a big, juicy, dramatic role finally to show off his talent in is nice. I like seeing him get this recognition finally. I would love to see him take this
And
Oscar.
you can tell that Trier was really excited to have him because the first scene
Yes.
he's in, he comes up in his car.
He gets a grand entrance
He
in this
really
movie.
does. He like pulls up to like it's like the after of their funeral, after like the funeral.
Yeah,
And
they're
they, like,
at
have the
the
house
family home after the funeral of his ex-wife.
And it's totally like the
their
first time
mother.
he stepped in that house in like probably 20 years or something.
Yes.
And it's such like a grand entrance. And I think I can tell how much this movie, and I think my biggest praise I have for this movie is how much it cares about small details and how much certain things are played. I feel like you can feel the emotional weight of every little moment, every little mention of something. The tone shifts from like wholesome conversation to, oh, remembering an insecurity that I didn't want to think about right now.
Yeah,
and it was very well done in that regard.
This film is extremely good at making you feel the weight of the emotions without very much needing to be said. A lot goes unsaid, and it's still felt through it almost has an emptiness. A lot of emotional scenes have like these drawn out silences to them where you are kind of forced to sit in a given room with the characters and wallow in the same negative emotions that they're feeling.
Yeah, this is very much a European art house,
Yeah, it's dry in
less
that way.
is more drama. And if you don't have that sort of appreciation for those sorts of things, you could consider this drawn out and, maybe needing more melodrama. I have a suspicion that might be why Elle Fanning is here.
Yeah, she was definitely,
Yes.
as an American watcher, she showed up and said, "Oh, I do know who that is."
I bet,
Yeah.
this movie would never be in theaters for, like, an American audience, really.
No,
but, like,
I watched this on an airplane, actually.
yeah, I watched this on streaming alone midday, and you watched it on an airplane, which I think are
It's very telling.
the correct settings for it. I think we've got to talk about the performances overall. As we maybe mentioned,
They were the highlight.
Stellan Skarsgård is fantastic in this.
Yes.
I don't know. The Best Supporting Actor is such a stacked category this year,
It is.
but if people want to push for him, like, I wouldn't be disagreeing. Like, as much as I love One Battle, I love Sean Penn, I love Benicio del Toro, if you told me he wins, I would not complain in any way.
I'll put it this way. Sean Penn is probably my pick for supporting actor this year, but I would be overjoyed to just see Stellan Skarsgård holding an Oscar.
Oh, absolutely.
Same way where like I don't quite think that Jamie Lee Curtis deserved her Oscar for that particular role in Everything Everywhere All at Once. But it was cool to see Jamie Lee Curtis win an Oscar for who she is.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. Like, actually, bigger comparison, Kieran Culkin.
Yes,
I
which
was like,
should have been Jeremy Strong.
Probably should have been Jeremy Strong, but I was still on that Kieran Culkin. He's such a lovable personality.
Yeah.
He was great in that movie, and you know, I was still on the Succession hype. So like, just see him more again.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was fantastic. I think Renate Rensve, I'm probably butchering that pronunciation. She's fantastic as Nora.
Yes,
in
she's
this.
very good.
Likely not winning just because I think Jessie Buckley's such basically guaranteed locked in.
That is hers, yeah, for sure.
But I love what she did in this movie. I love the multiple scenes of her stage acting.
Yeah.
I thought those sequences were so good.
In my opinion, the most compelling scenes in the film are towards the beginning when she is supposed to go on for a big performance, and we are seeing the anxious process that she goes through before every shoot, every performance. And towards the very last scene, when they are shooting the movie finally, and the Elle Fanning character has left the project, and Nora has now stepped into the role that she denied in the first place, and her nephew Eric is in the movie with her.
That final scene's fantastic.
When it pulls out, because you think they're shooting it in the house, and they pull back and they reveal that they're on a soundstage recreation. And it's moments like that that make me really love movies about filmmaking by filmmakers. And there were a couple good ones this year. I particularly liked Jay Kelly. And there's something very like palpable because you're watching someone create from a very personal place because it's about the world that they come from.
Yeah, there is a level of this movie being about like, you know, trauma through art.
Yeah.
And like, you know, people who do not want to communicate directly and instead push things off into other parts of their lives. I guess my just one takeaway, because we're going a little long.
Yeah.
The part that didn't work, I think Agnes and her actress, phenomenal. I actually think Agnes is my favorite character in the movie. I really like her.
She was understated in a great way.
She was understated, but then how much she took initiative in certain elements, like the, I like her going to read the files about her grandmother and just how understated she was with that.
Oh, I almost forgot about that
That
scene.
was such a great scene.
It's not so closely related to the rest of the action, but it is a
and then the
very
kind of
heavy-
emotional climax she has with Nora, where she understands their strange relationship by mentioning how she felt like she had her support. Beautiful moment. And I know that's like kind of the scene everyone gets the pull quotes from. Plus, Stellan Skarsgård standing up for Elle Fanning with the she's the best actress of a generation. I've seen that get memed so much online.
It's a funny part.
That was great. My one takeaway is I really am a big Elle Fanning fan. I don't love her in this movie. And I think it's because for as much as this movie doesn't spell out and take its time with things, I feel like her character was more of a catalyst for things going on. And I felt like for such an outsider to like this family relationship, she's asking so many pointed questions.
Right, she's almost there to be a surrogate for the audience, investigating, like getting to the answers that we want to find out.
Yeah, and like her like own emotional journey felt very melodramatic and didn't feel as lived in with the experiences where it's just like, oh, I feel like I want to make more personal movies and I can't really connect with this. And it just didn't have the same level of drama. But at the same time, I think I liked her kind of being that fish out of water. And it did probably serve, right? Even then, like, again, in comparison with Inga and Agnes, it's weird to see her get the two nominations for Best Supporting.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think she does get to the plot, which was there. And because this movie is so understated, it really lives on the acting and the direction, which we didn't really mention much. I loved how this movie was directed.
It looks very good.
It looks very good. I remember the shot of when Elle Fanning and Stellan Skarsgård are at the beach, and then you have him standing on the beach, and then the sky is like purple. That was beautiful. I love how this movie uses POV in crowds and like shaky cam just to like get that real feel. It is a movie that looks modern through like modern lens. It doesn't have that much film grain, but also feels not like overly like not too like Netflixy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is shot very objectively in a way that is good at making you feel like a fly on the wall.
Yes, and I think as someone who has that appreciation for the art house style, I really connected with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess what would be your score for this, and then just final takeaways?
Yeah, my final takeaway would be that it is a very well put together, well acted movie, but the one thought that bothered me the whole time was that not a ton set it apart from similar artsy drama films. It's a movie that I enjoyed watching but was not impacted that much by. That said, I would give it an 8 out of 10, but maybe an unenthusiastic 8 out of 10. Like, I can recognize it for what it is, but it wasn't my favorite thing I've seen this year.
Absolutely. I think I'm probably a bit warmer on this than you are, and I think like 8, 9 has been the consensus. I'm gonna go with an 8 as well, probably on the strong 8, bordering on a 9. I feel like I've been talking about this movie a lot in context with the Oscars. It's not my front runners when Sinners and One Battle After Another are there.
No, it definitely
but it's in
falls
that
to the back
second
a
tier
little bit.
movies I've really, really enjoyed, like Begonia, but just didn't feel like it would be there. I really did connect to a lot of the plot points. I think it's very, very well done. It's very well acted. Again, with my one quibble about the Elle Fanning character. But I think there were so many, like, individual moments that I still felt like a strong connection to this movie. And for a 2 hour, 15-minute family drama with slow pacing, the fact that I was invested that long, I had to give it props for.
Yeah, that's a good point. It does keep you.
Yeah, I don't know if this movie's going to get talked about that much outside of Oscar retrospects. I don't feel like this is going to be a movie that gets discussed a lot.
No, I don't see it withstanding the test of
Especially
time very
as a
much.
foreign movie, that's just the fate of it.
Those
But
movies need to really wow the general public to stick around.
absolutely, but I'm very happy I've watched this,
Yeah,
and I will
enjoyed
be, moderately rooting for this during the Oscar season, and I'm hoping everyone gets more attention, especially Western-wise, especially for some of these actors and actresses.
For sure.
But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Guys, I wrapped you up at 6:30 and you talked until 11:40. Doubled your after I wrapped you up.